Hi everyone, I am back with some more information about ClassDojo. The thing I want to show you today is one of the new features of ClassDojo this year, and it is the toolkit. The toolkit is great. It has so many resources for you that will surely save you time in the classroom, and who doesn't need more time? So down below on your toolbar down here are all the things that you can use to help you save time. But the toolkit is one of my favorite new features of ClassDojo. There are all these options to use with your class. Many of us have a hard time making groups with our students or having them pick partners, things like that. So there's all these different things. So here are some of the features of the toolkit. There's a timer. You can pick random students. It makes groups for you depending upon how many students you want. There's a noise meter so that if your class is getting too loud, the students are able to see it. You can list directions on the board step by step for them to see. Sometimes if you're doing a think, pair, share, you can put your question right up on the board for them. You can leave them a morning message with today. And if you're doing an activity and you just want them to listen to some calm, soothing music, ClassDojo has that for you. So I'm just going to go through some of the different features and show you what's up here. The first one I'm going to show you is the timer. Very basic. You can decide how long you want students to have. Maybe they're working on an activity and you tell them that they only have 5 minutes to do it. You can press 5 minutes and it starts the timer. If you're still giving directions and you need to start over again, you can just press this back arrow and it starts the 5 minutes fresh again. Or maybe you need to pause in between to give them some extra time and you can just do that. You can add 10 seconds to it if you would like to do that as well. So the timer is pretty self-explanatory. Also, you can pick a random student. So maybe you're walking through the hallway and you want to see if that student is walking in the hallway the correct way. This is a way that you can do that and add points. If Julia is walking through the hallway the right way, then you can watch your random, go back to Julia, and give her a point. I use the random a lot in my classroom for in the hallway, at lunch, when I'm doing math or reading to see if they're working. The next thing I really like is the group maker. How many of us have a hard time making groups and know that this student shouldn't work with this one, or they might be off task if they work together? So if you go to group maker, you can decide if you want to make groups of 2, 3, 4. You can actually decide on your own. Maybe you want to make groups of 7 if that was an option for your classroom, depending upon how many students you have. So you can add to that, but you can also decide, I know that Bradley and Cameron cannot work together, so you can add that to your list. Or maybe you know that Julia and Hallie can definitely not work together, so you can just add them to your list as well, and the group maker will make sure that those students are not together. And if you go back and you decide you want them to work in pairs, it creates your groups for you. Next in the toolkit is the noise meter. It's as simple as it sounds. As you can see, it's moving up and down as my voice is moving, but if I stay silent, it keeps it down at green. So if students see the color elevating, they know that they're talking too loud, and you can change the sensitivity. So if you wanted to be more sensitive, you would increase the bar. If you wanted to be less sensitive, you decrease the bar. Also, if you want to do directions on the board instead of repeating them over and over again, you can use the directions here. So I'm going to show you an example of that right now. Alright, I've listed all of the steps to my directions, so I'm going to hit display. One of the projects I did this week was creating a haunted house. So I had a lot of students ask me a lot of questions about it, so one of the things I did was use the directions to keep them up on the board so the students could see. Next in the toolbox is think, pair, share. I always have students do a turn and talk every morning, or a think, pair, share, and talk about something relevant to what we're doing and reading. So you can always add your question here, but I'm just going to use one of them on the list for right now. So all it does is you click on it and it posts it up on the board for them to see, and they can turn and talk or think, pair, share with their neighbor. I can leave a morning message in the morning. So if I want them to do a certain job for morning work, I can list it here. I can just, if, on Tuesday morning, I probably won't have morning work for them. So I would just write Happy Halloween. And it'll display up on the board for them with the date and the year. And lastly is the music. So a lot of times if I'm working with the students and they're doing something independently, I like to use the focus music, and it plays calming, soothing music for them. You can always use the active as well. It's really dependent upon the activities that you're doing, but I really love the toolkit. It really helps in your classroom. Make sure you incorporate the toolkit in your classroom. It really will help you along the way, and it is sure to help save you time.